Welcome to the next episode of Your Charisma Coach. It's finally here. Today have I got a treat in store for you. We're joined by the greatest hypnotist of his generation, Igor Ledochowski, who's agreed to come on and share some of his secrets in hypnosis and how we can apply those to meeting and connecting with people much better than we're already doing. So Igor, you have an absolute treasure trove of knowledge in your mind. Is there any good tips that you can share with us that would allow us to meet and connect with people in any manner of place?
Well, first of all, thank you for that glowing introduction. That's very nice of you. And secondly, there's a lot of things that fit meeting with people and anything, and hypnosis, hypnotherapy, or just talking to people in random. What people respond to the most is people, is the humanity of them. You'll notice that people we don't like so much are the ones that are kind of like dead from the neck down, probably from the neck up as well. They're over-professional, they say all the right words, but there's no life behind them.
Sure.
Now, if you ask yourself, why is there no life behind them? It's really an expression of your mindset. You see, very often it's not just the words that you say that matter, it's how you say them, right? And how you say them is a direct relationship in terms of where your mind is at. If you're feeling depressed and you want to get someone excited and you go, oh, get excited, it's really got a really cool show for you. The words may sound right, or rather, the words may be right, but they don't come across right. It's all to do with your own emotional state. So by going first, by allowing your mind to enter the right place first, it just colors all the different contexts you go into. So how does this apply in terms of meeting people you don't know, or generating that atmosphere, that emotion in the first place? Having a friendly mindset will create friendly people around you. When I was a boy, my parents had these cocktail parties. All these people would come in, and as good children, we'd go around and say, more snacks, sir, and more drinks and all that sort of stuff. That sort of thing.
Yeah, sure.
It's fun. And I found this really strange thing, because with some people I'd be very charismatic and I'd be engaging, I'd be telling stories, and they'd find me fascinating, and I'd be fascinated. I'd go, wow, I'm great. And then 2 conversations down the line, I'd be sitting there all awkward with someone going, so, what'd you do?
Clean.
Yeah, what's and you'd run out of words.
Sure.
I think, how can this be? After a while I realized the reason I felt so charismatic with some people is because they felt comfortable in their own skin and they were interested in me. The other ones were so insecure, they felt so clammed up themselves, it was clamming me up. So if you, as a rule, can discipline your mind, and discipline is not quite the right word, can just practice or rehearse feeling the ways you would like to have people feel about you, then they'll feel like that around you and tend to attach it to you. Does that make sense?
That makes perfect sense. So is there a technique we can use to get ourselves into that constructive headspace?
Sure, absolutely. Here's a version of something I call the instant rapport technique. Now, you have friends, right? At least 1 or 2. And if you think about someone who's a really good friend of yours, not anyone you've had in a romantic relationship, because that adds things you don't necessarily want to have here. Just someone who's a really good friend, a loved one, a member of your family, can even be a pet, someone you've got a real close emotional connection to. And you think of that pet, that person in your life or whatever, past or present, you'll get an emotion, you'll feel good. If you allow that feeling to spread and really kind of project around you, so you have a sense of like a happy glow. When you think of people you love, you tend to have a happier glow around you. As long as you can maintain that happy glow, you can let go of the memory and still have that happy glow. Now when you meet someone for the first time and you have that happy glow, they'll notice that. But because that glow of emotion comes from experiences of friendship, you're now sending out unconsciously friendship signals.
So you're almost saying, go first.
I'm saying exactly that, go first. I'll give an example of this. It actually happened to me years ago. I was at a hypnosis seminar, and there's a little old lady at the hypnosis seminar who for some reason just reminded me of my grandmother. It clearly wasn't my grandmother, I checked.
What are you doing here, Gran?
Yeah, exactly. And I didn't know her from anyone. I'd never seen her before in my life. I knew that too. But just something about her, there's something that just reminded me. Yeah. I couldn't shake this feeling that she reminded me of my grandmother. And I didn't really talk to her for the first few days. But every time I kind of catch a glimpse of her, I go, oh no, of course, I'm somewhere else now. And the interesting thing happened. Around about day 2 or day 3, she comes up to me during one of the breaks and says, do we know each other? I said, I'm sure we don't. No, did you go to this seminar? No. Did you go to here? No. Do you know these people? No. Have you been here? No. She goes through I don't know, 20 minutes, half an hour through a list of pretty much everything she's done in her entire life, everywhere she's been, everyone he's met, because she was so convinced she knew me. And at the time it seemed bizarre to me, but looking back on it now, my sense of knowing her were clearly sending her signals that I know you. But of course, my social politeness is trying to avoid, to make eye contact, I don't really know you, and so on. So she's left with this really strange thing of, I must know him from somewhere, but he hasn't addressed me directly, so we haven't met him before. Do you get the idea?
Absolutely. So you're sort of saying when we meet somebody, if we project this image onto them that they are someone who's very special to us.
Yes.
We walk up and we keep congruent eye contact.
Absolutely.
And behaviour, so we're not looking away as well. Almost bathing them in
exactly
niceness.
Because you see, all these signals you're talking about are a lot easier to do unconsciously because they come out naturally. Yeah. I don't know if you talk with your group about the idea of matching and mirroring, the similar body language and so on being interesting. You may notice we've hit mirroring by accident. I didn't try to do it, you didn't try to do it. We know each other, so we've done that, right? Now, the problem with matching and mirroring the way most people do it is they do this. Okay? And then you move, and I'll move, and he'll do something, and I'll do something, and then we become like little wooden marionettes, and eventually, well, pretty much within the first few seconds, you feel like I'm taking the mickey. And if you don't lean across in the room and try and slap me for being rude, then you're being a lot more controlled than most people would be.
So you're just out of reach.
Exactly.
Safety chest.
Exactly. So matching and mirroring is designed to be unconscious. That's how we're born as
almost
people.
like a byproduct.
It's exactly right. It is a side effect. And of course the unconscious mind responds to it. But we as conscious beings can't mimic it. We can start mimicking it, and once we get good at it, we can let go of it, it becomes unconscious again. Which basically means the only time it works is when it's not conscious. So instead of going through all that effort of trying to learn it consciously and then losing track of it again so it can happen naturally, why not create the conditions for it to happen automatically? That's what the instant rapport technique is about. If you are emotionally convinced that the other person is your friend, you will just give them friendship signals, and part of your psychological makeup is to start mirroring them, to start being like them. But it's unconscious, you don't think about it. It makes your life a lot easier, less to keep track of.
People like themselves.
Exactly.
Okay. So let's think then. So we see somebody we want to go and talk to. If we get our head in that mind space of thinking, right, first of all, let's imagine someone very dear to us. And that's almost really sort of giving us better software, I think, when we're going to go out and talk.
Exactly.
And if we use that then, just as like a protocol, so, right, there's someone we want to go and talk to, think this for, and then do that before we open our mouths, you're saying, or you're suggesting that we are going to have a lot better connection with people.
Yes, but it's not just thinking the thoughts that's important, it's the emotional content. You see, the unconscious mind is a storehouse of your emotions. If all you're doing is thinking the thought, your mind has learned to fantasize or remember. And there's a difference. Think of someone you actually like or in a pleasant situation, it makes you feel good, you have a little smile there.
Sure.
Think of some situation you don't like so much, and you get a little frown, it's like not so much nice, right? Now you can fantasize all kinds of wonderful things that you don't think will ever happen, and there is some little trick your mind does when you are just merely fantasizing, telling yourself this is not really real, but let's enjoy the fantasy of it. That your mind, the unconscious goes, well, we'll only have a mild response here. So if you just think of someone you like, but don't feel it, well then the emotion's not going to be there. Well, of course, clearly it's not there. If the emotion's not there, you haven't fully engaged the unconscious mind. So this is not a magic trick. This is not like visualize a person, project them onto the other person. Now I'm maintaining my visual memory of the other person on top of you, and therefore will automatically start, you see the intense strain and concentration on my face? It's going to make me awkward again.
In fact, it's going to have everyone grand.
Yeah, but it's going to have the opposite effect that you want. What we're looking for is naturalness. Hence, if you want to have a process, it's you can practice it at home first and then start doing it more naturally. First, think of someone or a pet or a person that you really have a good connection to. 2, intensify that memory until you start feeling it. 3, when you feel it, let it project to kind of surround the other person so you have this emotional sense of connection. Once you have that, let go of the memory, enjoy the feeling, and just go, hey, have we met before? I'm sure we've met before. And I'll go, yeah, I don't know. And then, well, the rest is history, I guess.
We met before.
Exactly.
Guys, we are just scratching the surface with Igor today. He has got a wealth volumes of textbooks of knowledge and wisdom can be shared here, and we just don't have time. But if you'd like to find out more about what Igor does, and it's amazing, head over to streethypnosis.com. And is there any other places?
That's the main one. If you want to learn more about where this technique came from, the instant rapport technique, that's part of our Power of Conversational Hypnosis course, and that's conversational-hypnosis.com. I'm sure you can throw up a link or something.
No worries. Thanks so much. Thanks for joining us. Thank you, Igor, as well. Absolute pleasure. And I'll see you on the next episode of Your Charisma Coach. Well, that was a fantastic interview with Igor, and I really want to encourage you to try out his instant rapport technique. I can tell you from first-hand experience that it is incredibly powerful, and it will help you connect with people quickly. You can also get your hands on lots more great techniques that help you develop your rapport skills by downloading my free ebook, How to Talk to Anybody Without Fear of Rejection. All you have to do is head over to my website at yourcharismacoach.com, enter your details, and you'll be able to download the book. See you there.